The main thing that really bothers me, there are so many things that bother me about the way She-Hulk looks. This isn't going to be a long bit, don't worry. First of all, if they were going to make her look like this, they shouldn't have gone with CGI. They should have gone with makeup. You know why they didn't go with makeup? They didn't go with makeup because makeup and effects is unionized and CGI isn't. The visual effects industry is like the only major industry in Hollywood that is not unionized. They can exploit. Trust me, my dad works in this industry. I'm speaking from experience. VFX guys are insanely overworked. They get insane levels of shit dumped on them with no time to work through it. And Marvel can do what they want because there's no VFX union. The problem is that a fuck ton of the industries in Hollywood, like, they came about back during the 1920s and 30s, and they were around for the big wave of unionization when America was, like, in its industrial post-Gilded Age stage, you know? But CGI only came about basically in the 90s as, like, a definitive part of Hollywood. And at that point, like, we were past the Reagan era, and most of the guys who got into VFX were, like, those, like, proto-libertarian tech nerds. So they didn't think they'd need a union because they thought the quality of their work and the relatively niche skill set they operated with would be enough to secure their labor rights. And they were fucking wrong, as they always are. And now the VFX industry is the, like, only major non-union... Like, seriously, it's a massive deal in Hollywood. You've probably heard a couple of times that they've cut off the mic when VFX people at the Oscars talk about how they're getting fucked over. You've seen that happen, right? Like the best visual effects, and some guys with beards will go up there and they talk and then they get cut off. There have been efforts to make a VFX union for decades and decades. Look, literally, She-Hulk's creators and star voice support for VFX unions over rushed work. Like, this is like a now thing. This is, if you ever are wondering why VFX looked better in, like, Jurassic Park than it does today, it's because lazy producers and executives try to do everything with CGI because they know that they're workhorses with no union. They can get away with making any demands they want. And because they're given no time and they're overworked, the work they do ends up looking like shit. And then people, like, blame the VFX artists. Never, ever, ever blame the VFX artists. Ever. Ever. If there's bad visual effects in a movie. Never do it. Ever. Don't do it. Never do it. It's literally like it's literally like getting a bad product from an American company and then getting mad at, like, Chinese sweatshop workers. Never do it. Don't do it for the Cats movie. Don't do it for any of them. They're all insanely overworked. They're never given the time. They're never given anything they need to do the work. Like, don't do it. They're incredibly talented people. My dad is an incredibly talented guy. But they, like, yeah, like, they are so fucked by the industry. But Cats was so bad. Yeah, but Cats wasn't bad because of the VFX workers. Cats was bad because the executives gave them no time to do that work. Was your dad stressed a lot when you were growing up? It's a stressful industry, yeah. Yeah, it is. My dad's done a lot. My dad's traveled. My dad spent 6 months in India doing work on a project over there. Visual effects. It's something you can find. This is a consistent theme with basically any creative project, okay? Have you guys ever wondered how AAA studios can spend $60 million making a video game that comes out a buggy, unfinished mess, but there are indie studios that, with the same amount of time, make something that's way more technically competent and proficient that costs, like, 1/100th as much money to make? The reason for that isn't because the indie studio people have better workers. That's not why. There are people who work at the AAA studio who are as or more experienced. The real reason, the real problem, is the fucking executives. They fuck everything up every time. In a smaller indie project with a small team, you usually have a passionate team with a direct, like, engagement and communication between the creative leads, the people who do the artwork, you know, the code. Like, everyone's there, everyone's on board. And you get these bigger projects where you have these, like, massive multi-billion-dollar corporations that are dictating, like, shit from top down, and, like, the people, like, the VFX groups will, like, do a mock-up of something, send it over, and then it has to go up 17 layers of approval before it gets written back with a note like, you need to change this. And, like, there's no cohesion at all because it's all designed by committee, you know? And always the people who get blamed for this shit are the VFX people, but they don't deserve it. And also, like, also one other thing, a couple other things. First of all, why on earth, why on earth does the actress playing She-Hulk, when she's not She-Hulkified, have wavy hair, but then in She-Hulk form, her hair is long and straight? That's very weird to me. Bruce Banner and Hulk have the same hair, just bigger. I have no idea why. Like, is She-Hulk white? Is the Hulk gamma radiation white? Green? Green, white? I don't get it. They don't look the same. She has different eyebrows. She has different eyebrows and different hair. If you told me these two were meant to be the same person, I wouldn't buy it. And don't get me wrong, the Hulk looks different from Bruce Banner too, but it's just sort of like a monsterified version of Bruce Banner, but this isn't a monsterified version of her. She literally just looks like a 6'5" woman who's green. I don't know. She's on yeah, I saw the anti-homeless bench that she was on. Yeah. Actually, the Hulk's hair is straighter than Mark Ruffalo's. Is that true? Let me see. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. They're pretty close, I think. I mean, I guess they're not exactly the same. It's a bit shorter. Whatever. No. It's but you agree this is like weird, right? They don't look at all the same. Mark Ruffalo does look like the Hulk here. Even though the Hulk is way more Hulkified than yeah. You're doing the thought slime thing? I'm sorry, this is my authentic reaction to this information. Anyway, I just think this is some bullshit, okay? Just, if you're gonna do She-Hulk, you're gonna do CGI, make her muscular, not like fake, not... It's, what's that meme people are doing? It's like World of Warcraft, like orc and female orc. The fantasy trope where it's like, you know, males and females of the fantasy. Yeah, like this, the sexual dimorphism of fantasy races. You know, like, it's literally the female male orc dichotomy down there. Like, look at the, like, her waist is the size of his arm. I get, but WoW is supposed to be cartoony. This is supposed to be like realistic or whatever. I guess there's a lot of variance. I don't know. Some depictions of She-Hulk have had her look pretty, I don't know, refined, I guess? Like, not monsterified at all? Yeah, I don't know. She's hot there? Obviously she's hot here. Nobody's arguing that. There's a lot of variance. I think the issue also is that guys like how muscular chicks look when they're in a state of partial undress, but they don't like how beefy chicks look when they're in clothes. Because this body ain't that body. You know what I mean? Like, this body here is like a regular, like, moderately fit woman's body. But if you put this woman, or like the way she's depicted in a lot of these other comic stills, in clothing, she would look way bulkier in them. So it's like we want her to look kind of like refined and like kind of dainty and feminine. Not dainty, but you know what I mean, relatively dainty. When she's wearing the lawyer clothes, but then when she's wearing the, you know, the Hulk leotard or whatever, you know, then she's a lot beefier. Those comics are aimed at girls though? Oh, I don't know. Not shaming. There has been a lot of variety in how she gets depicted. She-Hulk comic cover. Sorry, hold on. There's sociological you know, value. So this is what she originally looked like, right? But back here, wasn't she? I mean, she's huge for one, I guess. Though I don't know if this is meant to be a literal interpretation of her size. And then you've got it when she's like this, and she's like properly massive, you know? And then you've got it like this, where you have incompetent idiots drawing your art covers. What the fucking hell am I looking at? Holy shit. Is this Layfield? Layfield. Layfield! I knew it was you, buddy! Yes! Can spot your shit from a fucking mile. Rob! Rob! All the tropes are here. The random scribbles, the bad proportions, the fucking stone-etched constipation face. Oh, it's so good. Liefeld, Liefeld, Liefeld. Now I just want to look at Rob Liefeld depictions. Wait, She-Hulk, Rob Liefeld. Fuck, dude! Holy shit! They should have adapted this! Absolutely! This is what I'm talking about. This is the adaptation the viewers at home crave. He's incredible. I'm a big fan. Alright, that's enough. That's enough. Or is it enough? Here's him drawing Hulk. You can see all the same patterns. He's never really learned how to draw anything. I was about to say something specific, but I'm just going to go with anything. Here's a character he created called Prophet. Just, God. It's like if the 1990s developed its own like Chainsaw Man devil. Like 90s comic art designed, it had its own Chainsaw Man devil and tried to kill you. Yeah, the 90s devil. Fuck, dude. I'm sorry, I'm just going through shit now. I can't. Ooh, it's really... It's mesmerizing. Is this what ketamine feels like? Extreme sacrifice. That's what it says in the top right. Oh, that's way too noisy. Rob Liefeld doesn't know what you mean. Too noisy? What? He doesn't know what that means. What? Noise? It's an image. What is too noisy? He doesn't understand. Can you clarify? What does too noisy mean? What? It's an image. How can an image make noise? What? I'm sorry. Stop. We have to stop. We have to move on. Rob is like an infinite mimetic whirlpool that I could fall down forever. What? I can't hear you over the noise. Fuck. I could kind of tell the last one is done, but why is it? The problem with Rob, with my man Layfield over there, is that he does everything wrong, so there's no answer I could give that would feel complete from my perspective. I would feel like I'm lying to you. If I only spent 30 minutes explaining how artistically fucking bankrupt he is, I would feel like I'm lying by omission by not having made it 90 minutes. There are videos you can find on him, though, that are spectacular. Really, really good stuff. Just look up, like, Rob Layfield on YouTube or something. The videos about him are great. What's his new stuff look like? Okay, last drawing. I'll just find... Okay. Rob Layfield 2022. Do we have anything from this year? Oh, okay. This seems to be a newer drawing. You know what? I hate to give this man credit, but this doesn't look like actual fucking steaming shit ass. I still think there are a ton of problems with it, and it's still very obviously Rob Layfield. But it is better than it has been before. No, there are still things to pick apart, but we're grading on a curve here. I have no idea how this guy managed to remain relevant in the way that he has for this long. It could be people being bad taste. Maybe he has video footage of every other person in the comic industry, like raping children, and he just keeps getting jobs on account of that. I cannot believe how he draws. My God, look at all that flair. Look at all those... Oh my God, look at how many sources of light there are glancing off of that shield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jesus Christ. It even has a watermark. Oh, that subtle off-white. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's seen the classics. Because the best stuff from him is back in the 90s, you know. Look at the face down here. What's even going on? Oh, I should have opened with this. If you've seen anything from Rob, you've seen you've seen this. The one with yeah, this one. You've seen this one. Everyone's seen this picture. Yeah, the Captain America one. Everyone's seen this one. That's a classic right there. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I should have opened with that. Yeah. What is perspective? I don't know. He does love his muscles and his guns. And his pouches. Jesus, fuck. Show the Arnold pick it's based on? Oh, yeah. The Captain America drawing is based on this from Arnold Schwarzenegger, which makes it worse because he had like a reference image of this. Like so it wasn't just him like doodling it or whatever. It was like actually inspired by. Yeah, so it's worse now because like he had an actual like something to look at. One thing a lot of people have trouble with when it comes to drawing muscular characters is that they don't realize that when you're muscular, it doesn't make your ribcage bigger. That's a key. If you ever want to get good at drawing muscular people in a realistic sense, draw their skeleton first, because the beefiest people have the exact same skeleton as like skinny people. You just add meat on top of it. But people will draw muscular people having like a larger rib cage and like wider shoulder bones and shit, and you know. Except for Andre the Giant. Yeah, except for Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant, Arnold, Conan. Wild shit, man. Can you imagine being one of the 17 or 18 girls they slammed when going out to the club that night? Holy shit. Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain, Andre the Giant, Arnold Schwarzenegger there in the middle. Look up Yao Ming and Shaq. Humans are wild, man. Crazy stuff. Look at this short guy. Look at this dude. That's Arnie? Yeah, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like 6'2". These Wilt Chamberlain I think is 7'4". And Andre the Giant was 7'1", I think, 7'2", something like that. Yeah. Imagine this is the 6'11" manlet versus the 7-foot Chad right there, or Dwayne Johnson and Shaq. Yeah, you can find just any images of tall guys to that, like when one of them is too tall for the other ones. Could I wait? Hold on. Andre the Giant next to a girl. Just any girl. Oh, she let you hit it because you're goofy? Well, she let me hit it because I'm a literal human giant. Also, he was goofy. It was kind of hot. I mean, Andre the... There is an appeal, right? I feel like even, because Andre's not, you know, the most handsome guy in the world, but I feel like if you're a chick, it's like, okay, well, what other chance am I going to get to, like, yeah. Oh, yeah, he was a good dude, I think. Everything I've heard from Andre, he seemed like he was a pretty cool guy. Oh, yeah, here's him, Here's him out at the pub with a beer can. That's real, by the way. You can believe it. Yeah, he definitely earned his name. Nice guy. Really interesting life. All right, sorry. Got distracted there. But distracted in a fun and interesting way. Imagine how expensive it must have been for her to get drunk. Oh, God. Wait, actually, I wonder. Andre the Giant, daily calories. Is there any... 7,000 calories a day. Yeah, I figured. Andre the Giant supposedly drinking 105 beers in one sitting. That might be a legend. Maybe. It might be possible. 105. No, yeah. I mean, he would have had to get up and pee a couple times there, but no, yeah, wow. Andre used to drink all the time to numb the pain because he refused to use painkillers. Yeah, unfortunately, the stuff that made him real big also, like, kind of killed him, He wasn't just a tall guy. He had gigantism, didn't he? His own weight crushed him. Yeah, that's the square cube law right there. That's the reason why living things can't get that big. Unless they're in the water. There's a limit to how big stuff on land can get. The materials that we use to construct our bodies have higher engineering requirements the more we weigh. Real tragic, that. What about dinosaurs? Most dinosaurs weren't that big. People think, because they've seen Jurassic Park, they think like all the dinosaurs were like, colossal or whatever. They were real big, don't get me wrong, but the dinosaurs that were the biggest, that were on land, T-Rex was huge, though? It wasn't... Here, hold on. T-Rex was 12 feet high. That's two people standing end on end. Height of elephant. African bush elephants 10 foot. And elephants would have weighed more than T-Rexes. Do you mean 12 meters? No, I mean 12 feet in height. Not counting their tail. I mean 12 feet, like, off the ground. You count their tail, though, that's cheating. Tails can get really long. A T-Rex is estimated to have weighed between 11,000 and 15,000 pounds, whereas an elephant, African bush elephant, around 13,000 pounds. Up to 15,000. So yeah, African bush elephant would have been about as heavy, maybe, as the upper end of a T-Rex. What about the big one? The Brontosaurus? That's the big one, right? Weight of a Brontosaurus would have been estimated to be around 36,000 to 49,000 pounds. That's big! That is big! The Argentinosaurus. Was it found in Argentina? Argentinosaurus. 110,000 pounds? Really? Didn't know things could get that big. Was it... Yeah, it was found in Argentina. Was it living in water? Known as one of the largest known land animals of all time, perhaps the largest. Wow! I didn't know things could get that big. This thing's heart must have been, real heavy. This one's supposed to be the big one? The Patagotitan? Oh yeah, things that are in the water can be a hell of a lot heavier. Wowza, look at that. The composition of the atmosphere was different back then, which allowed for animals to be bigger. Yeah. Wasn't the atmosphere more, oxygen-rich back then? If I remember correctly, one of the big issues with getting real big is about oxygen dissipation. It's about the processes by which your red blood cells carry oxygen to your cells, because your cells need the oxygen. And when you get big enough, the cell walls get thicker because it needs to support the volume of blood that moves through it. But if they're too thick, the oxygen doesn't do osmosis or something. It's something like that. Not an expert. Science! Exactly. I'm trying to find a nice clean size comparison. I'm having trouble doing it. Weight of blue whale. You can tell chat's autistic because you mentioned dinosaurs and everyone starts spamming paragraphs. Yeah, true. Blue whales are just crazy, man. I've always wanted to see one in person, but I also kind of don't want to see one in person. You know? They're awfully big. They're the biggest things ever. Well, not the biggest things ever. The biggest living things ever. You can fit inside of its heart? Yeah. Too big. Honest to God, just too large. Cheating. So difficult to find a proper size comparison. Why can't they just find blue whale size comparison? Why is that so hard? Okay, you know what? Never mind. It's fine. It's fine. What is this somebody keeps linking? The Bagger 293? Oh, I know this thing. Ain't this a German vehicle? This isn't a living thing. Moves like one, though. It's like the biggest mining equipment in the world. It's like the biggest vehicle in the world or something. We're really letting the autism fly. Wait, what? Did we just a video? I don't want music. I thought it was going to be a guy commenting or something. All right. Well, it is definitely very large. Woo! Look at that. Metal Gear. Well, that sure was a fucking stunlock and a half. Okay. See, I want you guys to know what a stunlock is and isn't. I'm trying to train you. Like an AI learning algorithm or something. Like you have to learn to identify what is or is not. No, we can't. We can't. I know how susceptible I am to these. Also, we're talking about big things. My autism is flaring up.